Tales of the Frickin' Abyss. One of the series I need to get more into is the Tales series. I only have 2 Tales games so far, Tales of Symphonia for GameCube, which I have yet to beat, and Tales of the Abyss for 3DS, which I've yet to beat. But even so, I've enjoyed every moment I've had playing Tales of the Abyss. Now, since this is a game that is very story-driven, I won't spoil much. The game follows Luc von Fabre, a young man of royalty who supposedly lost his memories of the first 7 years of his life after an incident where he was kidnapped. One day he trains with Van, his mentor, when a mysterious girl named Tyr appears and tries to kill Van. She ultimately fails when she and Luke suddenly disappear after a weird light begins to flash from Luke, and the game's story begins. Along the way you'll come across a very interesting cast of characters on the journey. There's Guy, Luke's best friend who is afraid of girls for some reason. The previously mentioned Tyr, the healer of the group who appears cold-hearted but is actually very kind and loves all things cute. The awesome necromancer himself, Jade Curtis. The adorable yet sassy and spunky Annis who wants to marry Luke because he's royalty, and she attacks with a stuffed doll? How does that even work? There's Natalia, another healer who just so happens to be engaged to Luke, and Mew. One of the most adorable things ever! Seriously, he's about as adorable as Kirby and Chibi Masay! But enough about the characters and my love for all things adorable. Let's talk about the gameplay. In battles, you play in a side-scrolling-esque style, but are allowed to move around freely once you unlock the ability to do so. You use the A button to perform normal attacks, but the B button allows you to use your arcs, which are basically your special moves. There's also the over limit, which allows you to send nearby opponents flying when activated. The over limit allows you to use your mystic arts, which are basically your super moves. Of course, these moves have to be unlocked if you want to use them, so don't think you'll have them right away. As for the overworld, well, there's a lot to explore, and with Tartarus, you can pretty much go anywhere, so long as you've unlocked the area during the story. Now, I'm just gonna say this now. You will, not if, will hate Luc von Fabre starting out. But given enough time, he'll grow on you. If you're looking for a huge RPG to play on the go, I highly recommend playing this. It has a pretty good story, great gameplay, and great visuals, even if it's just a port of a PS2 game. Now I just need to beat it so I can move on to more of the Tales series. Another series I want to get more into is the Shantae series. Now I did download the original on my 3DS, but never got too far into it. Maybe because the original 3DS D-pad sucks. Thankfully, I upgraded to this baby here, which has a much better D-pad. And I still haven't gotten too far, but I'm sure watching a walkthrough can help me. But enough about the original, let's talk about Shantae and the Pirate's Curse. Now, I know playing the current last game in the series may be weird, but I don't care. I've done it before. And I absolutely love this game. The visuals are fantastic in terms of its sprite work, the animations are fluid, and the gameplay is so smooth and enjoyable. So, the game starts out with Shantae, who is no longer a genie, responding to an attack on her home island. She stops the threat, only to be charged for stopping the attack in the first place. So let me get this straight. Shantae gets in trouble because she stopped someone from attacking her home. So then Shantae runs into Risky Boots, who frames Shantae for taking her crew and weapons. But then Shantae is attacked by one of Risky's crew turned monster. The two team up and travel from island to island to take out the dens of evil, which serve as the dungeon areas for the islands. Now, the gameplay, man, I've been using that word a lot, is simple. Jump and attack with your hair. Of course, since Shantae is no longer a genie, she doesn't have her powers. So in its place are a pistol, which belongs to Risky, a pirate hat, which belongs to Risky, a sword, which belongs to Risky, and boots, which belong to Risky. All of these items change up both the gameplay and level design as you progress through the islands. The pistol allows you to shoot switches from a far distance. The pirate hat allows you to float in the air for a short time and reach farther platforms. The sword is basically Scrooge McDuck, and the boots allow Shantae to charge rush just like Samus. But that's twice now someone in a game has copied off of Scrooge McDuck. Anyway, each of the island's settings is varied and unique. I mean, you have an island ruins, a spooky island, a desert that thankfully isn't the second level, the list goes on. And then there are the boss fights. Now, I haven't beaten the game yet, but from what I've seen, you'll need to use the item that you get from that island to beat the boss, kinda like Zelda. One more thing, Shantae in this game is voiced by Christina V. Yes, that Christina V. I'm very impressed with what I've played so far, and I can't wait to get into the other games in this series and the upcoming Shantae Half Genie Hero. Mario Kart is back at it again. I was so excited when this game finally released. And I gotta say, this is probably one of, if not, the best Mario Kart game yet. Okay, it's not perfect. The coin item can be a real pain. And they removed the wheelie. Are you kidding me? Well, I guess it was for balancing the vehicles. This game takes everything great about Mario Kart Wii and Mario Kart 7 and combines them together, which means the customization in this game is much greater than previous titles. Though personally, I prefer bikes over karts. As for the game itself, it's basically the same game we've been playing for years, but with a new twist. Mario Kart 8 introduces anti-gravity. At certain points in some of the tracks, your wheels will change to allow you to drive on walls or upside down. It's crazy. What I really like about this feature is that it branches out some of the track, allowing you to go on whichever path you want to go on. And when you hit opponent drivers or these things, you'll gain a speed boost. Older tracks that used to suck or were too basic, like Mario Circuit from Super Circuit, are more fun to play on. Yeah, these anti-gravity sections really change up the game. This game also features new items to use, such as the boomerang, the piranha plant, and the big game changer of them all, the super horn. It's rare, but you can get it in first place, which is good because this thing destroys the shell. As for the character roster, I'm not saying it's terrible, it's just you put the Koopalings in but not Bowser Jr.? Pink Gold Peach? What the heck? I could have said the same for Baby Rosalina, but she's so frickin' adorable, so she gets a free pass on my book. But what would Mario Kart be without its racetracks? The game features a number of new, unique tracks, as well as, like I said before, new twists to older tracks. Some of my favorites from this game are Sunshine Airport, N64 Rainbow Road, and my favorite from this game, Mount Wario. Yeah, this is just one of the games that Nintendo really needed to get out to boost Wii U sales, and it did just that. And with DLC now available and on the way, I don't think this game is going away anytime soon. Another year, another new Pokemon game. I've been hearing people saying Pokemon is becoming Call of Duty. I can see it, but just with any game, if these are the games you like to play, that's okay. No one can tell you what you can and cannot play. But enough with this mini rant. Let's talk about Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. These games truly capture the essence of the original Ruby and Sapphire, even in the X and Y art style. Gen 3 is my favorite of the Pokemon generations. I love the gigantic world of Hoenn. I love the Pokemon found in this region. To see it all again makes me really happy. Now, if you've played the originals, you're gonna know this game inside and out. Mostly. There are some differences, like some of the characters. The evil teams, mostly Team Aqua from what I hear, are much better. Your rival feels more like a close friend that you can rely on rather than just a rival. And Wally is now a much more believable character what with how he develops. While these games are remakes, it improves on some of the things from X and Y. One thing I noticed is the walking controls. They are a lot smoother in my opinion, as opposed to the whole running in only 8 directions. Surfing has also changed. Now, using certain Pokemon for surfing can do different things. And with Megalatios and Megalatias, you can travel the skies now and find all kinds of Pokemon, including legendaries. Now, I haven't beaten the game yet, so I can't really say much about the Delta episode. From what I hear, it takes some of the elements from Emerald and puts them into this post-game story. Which leads me to the complaints I have with these games. Emerald was barely on Game Freak's mind, only giving us elements of Emerald in the Delta episode and a remix of the Frontier Brain theme. I also don't like how most of the Pokemon that get the new Mega Evolutions aren't available until the post-game. Why? I was forced to transfer a Baniri over from my Black 2 into my Alpha Sapphire because I really want to try out that Mega Lopunny. The last complaint I have with these games is its effect on the Pokemon timeline. But that's a whole other topic in itself, and going into detail would take too long, so I'll end with this. Regardless of these complaints, these games are great remakes to old Pokemon games, incorporating great things about X and Y with my favorite Pokemon generation. I'm not gonna lie, I chose to play as the female character. Got a problem with that? This next game is a game I've owned since it was released in America. And I did play it, but I didn't get very far. And now, thanks to a certain Let's Player, I had an excuse to play it. And I absolutely love it. So much so that I couldn't leave it off the list. The game in question, Xenoblade Chronicles. This game, it's so massive! I don't even know where to begin. There's this guy named Shulk who acquires this sword called the Monado, who gives him the power to see the future. Now he's sucked into a big conflict against these things called Mechon, and that's as far as I'm going with the story. This is a game where you need to experience the story from start to finish, not in between. Now, let's talk about how this game plays. The world of Bionis is freaking huge. And what Chuka Conroy said is right. If you can see it, you can go to it. Just be careful not to run into powerful enemies along the way. As for the combat, it's very unique from other RPG combat systems. Normal attacks are performed automatically, but special attacks, or arts, are mapped to the bottom of the screen. These arts have certain effects, like increasing damage depending on your position by an enemy, adding buffs to your stats, etc. Each character has unique arts, but Shulk, the main character, is special. He gets the Monado arts, special arts that can increase speed, defend the party from attacks, and other things. By filling up the gauge on the top left of the screen, you can perform a chain attack, where all party members on the field attack a single opponent at once as time stops. And if you're lucky, you can continue the onslaught to add up a ton of damage. And then there's the vision mechanic, where you see a vision of what an enemy will do. You are then given a few seconds to stop the attack and change the outcome, hopefully in your favor. And to top it all off, this game features some of the best music I've ever heard. Most of you have probably heard the more popular songs like You Will Know Our Names, Mechanical Rhythm, and my favorite song in the game so far, Engage the Enemy. My only real complaint with this game is the side quests. Yes, they are a great way to get experience, but there are a ton of them. This really detracts from the story, and if you aren't following a guide, you might not get the best rewards from these side quests. Regardless, this game is a true masterpiece that I believe gamers need to experience at least once. It may not be the easiest game to purchase, but hopefully people will finally be able to experience it once the new 3DS and the port of Xenoblade Chronicles comes out. And yes, I'm gonna say it. I'm really feeling it! Particle Effect Maelstroms. In terms of Nintendo games being released last year, I think this game, Hyrule Warriors, was where the hype accelerated. I guess that's why people call it Hyrule Warriors. This is the biggest fan service to the Zelda fandom Nintendo has ever conceived, and I enjoyed every second I had with this game. This game is basically Dynasty Warriors, but with the Zelda franchise slapped all over it. Yes, the gameplay can be repetitive. I mean, all you're doing is attacking numerous enemies over and over, but that's not a bad thing. In fact, I think this kind of gameplay suits the Zelda franchise very well, because, let's face it, Zelda has mentioned wars before in backstory, but never once do we actually see the battles of these wars. With this game, we actually get to see that, and the way a lot of these characters attack is very flashy, good to look at, and just so satisfying. Now, the story isn't much. You can beat it in a matter of hours if you put the time into it. But it's the way each of the different characters play as you take down these weak, pathetic excuses for enemies that makes this game so much fun. Each character plays very differently from each other, and some have different weapons that they can use. You are bound to find a character you enjoy using. My favorite, of course, is Lana. Once I unlocked her, I lost interest in every character available at the time in my game. All I needed was Lana. She is so good with her 3 weapons, but I've already gone over this in a previous list. My other favorites are Link, Ganondorf, Volga, and Sia. Aside from story mode, you also have adventure mode. In this mode, you progress through a map that resembles the overworld of the original Legend of Zelda. You must complete different missions to open up new parts of the map. By beating certain missions, you can unlock new weapons and characters. I have yet to complete this, and trust me, it will take you a while to get everything. I still haven't got the other characters or some of the other weapons. I really want to know how good Lana's summoning gate is. And thanks to the DLC adding new story scenarios, new adventure mode maps, and new characters, you'll be playing this game for a long time before completing it. If you have a Wii U, I highly recommend buying it. Sure, it's not for everyone, but if you can get into it, you'll have a great time with this one. We're almost done with this list, but before we conclude, let's recap. Number 15, Tomodachi Life. Number 14, The Mysterious Murasame Castle. Number 13, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. Number 12, Destiny. Number 11, Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. Number 10, Puppeteer. Number 9, Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness. Number 8, Kirby Triple Deluxe. Number 7, Tales of the Abyss. Number 6, Shantae and the Pirate's Curse. Number 5, Mario Kart 8. Number 4, Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Number 3, Xenoblade Chronicles. And number 2, Hyrule Warriors. What a shock. Super Smash Bros. For 3DS and Wii U is number 1. Oh my god. But, I mean, come on, it's Smash Bros. Could it have been anything else? This was the game that I'm sure a number of people were anticipating. It was a fun and wild ride from the announcement at E3 2011 to now, and the payoff was worth it. This is possibly the best Smash Bros. Game I've ever played. Yes, it's not Melee, but I don't care. The speed in this game is a nice balance between Melee and Brawl, and I love it. So, what do these two games have to offer? Let's start with the 3DS version. Smash Bros. On a handheld. I never thought this would happen, but it happened, and it's good. Since this version came out first, I see this as the version that gave us a taste of what to expect in the console version, while still feeling like its own standalone thing. Sure, you get modes like Classic and All-Star mode, but the mode that I'm sure a lot of you like is the 3DS exclusive mode, Smash Run. Basically, you are placed on a giant stage. You have 5 minutes to gather up power-ups by beating enemies, collecting chests, and beating challenge doors. When 5 minutes are up, you and 3 other players, or CPUs, will take part in one final challenge. Everything in this mode is random. You never know how strong you'll be, or what the final challenge is. It's so much fun. But I wish it was online. Now for the Wii U version, the version that everyone was waiting for. This features classic and all-star modes like the 3DS, but with some differences to make it unique to this version of the game. The Wii U version also has Smash Tour, but I didn't go into that mode much. Then there's probably my favorite mode in the Wii U version, Special Orders. There's Master Orders, which gives you challenges to take part in for a price each. And there's Crazy Orders, which has you pay 5,000 gold or a special pass to tackle as many challenges as you want within the time limit. You can then challenge Crazy Hand in one final showdown, where if you win, you get all the rewards you earned. But if you lose once at all in Crazy Orders, you get only a few of the rewards. It's very thrilling. And then there's the mode that everyone was hoping would be good this time around, Online Play. And for the most part, it is good. You can play online with friends with any set rules. Then there's For Fun and For Glory. I personally go on one-on-one when I'm online. Since a lot of tournaments are like this is good practice should I ever go to one. But what would Smash Bros. Be without its character roster? This is quite possibly the most balanced roster yet. Well, mostly balanced. There are a few characters that I think need to be toned down. The characters I mainly use are Palutena, Sonic, Bowser Jr., and of course, Dark Pit. And I'm sure I'll find even more characters to get good with as I continue playing this awesome game. Super Smash Bros. For 3DS and Wii U is definitely my game of 2014. I've put so much time into both versions, and with Mewtwo on the way, I won't be putting these games down anytime soon. I'm Chaos Key 4013, and here's to 2014 for being such an awesome year for gamers. And I hope 2015 is just as awesome.
Who is that?
I have no data on this fighter. I can't believe it.
It must be an intruder from another dimension!
Whoever it is, the goal remains the same. To fight and win!
Another dimension? You know what this means, right? Megalore confirmed!